Hello, and welcome to Picture This, a podcast from the photo archives of the Albuquerque Museum. My name is Jill Hartke, and I am the Digital Archivist here at the museum. Today, we are taking a look at the world of an itinerant photographer during the American Depression of the early 1930s. In the photo archives of the Albuquerque Museum is a collection of glass plate photographs showing the businesses of downtown Albuquerque during the Depression in 1930 and 1931. Here's the story behind these glass plate photographs. During the early part of the 20th century, some photographers took to the roads with their cameras, preferring a life of adventure and freedom to that of a steady job and a permanent address. They lived on the fringes of society, stopping in towns and appearing unannounced to take pictures of people that they could later sell back to the subjects of those portraits. They appeared at fairs and carnivals, on street corners, or just wandering down a neighborhood street. More than anything else, itinerant photographers were salesmen. Their livelihood depended upon being able to get money for photographs from people who had never intended on having their picture taken. If you were going to be an itinerant photographer, you needed to be creative and resourceful, and a bit of a risk taker. Wandering through neighborhoods with a pony, an itinerant photographer might stop and tell parents they wanted to take photos of their children at no charge and no obligation to buy. The photographer would take the photograph and leave, only to return a few days later, asking the parents for money for the photograph that was taken of their child. Parents often could not turn down this offer, and sometimes felt that their child's photograph was held ransom. In light of these feelings, and in a competitive spirit, professional studio photographers used the term kidnappers to describe itinerant photographers who use this particular method of salesmanship. The itinerant photographer who came to Albuquerque in 1930 is unknown. No mention is found in newspapers about a traveling photographer at this time. In some of the photographs, you catch a glimpse of the photographer's shadow, who appears to look like a man, but otherwise, the identity of our particular itinerant photographer remains a mystery. But what a treasure trove he left us! Photographs showing businesses around Gold Avenue, 4th Street, and Central Avenue that all have the look to them of spontaneous arrival. The itinerant photographer perhaps caught a more realistic version of life in these cafes, barbershops, and stores because of his sudden appearance. There was no time to doll the place up or put on a clean apron. He caught the reality of running a business in Depression-era Albuquerque. Many of the businesses who would purchase photographs like this might use it in an advertisement after the business had been renovated as the before picture to show how much the business owner had updated or modernized the store. A few of the businesses our photographer dropped into unexpectedly include B&M's Driverless Car Company on North 3rd Street, Tom Thumb's Mini Golf Course on Gold Avenue, Frank Tomei's Tailor Shop on North 2nd Street, and Zamora's Saddlery on West Copper. Some of the most striking are the photographs that show the tiny spaces where businesses blossomed, like a shoe repair store, or the lunch counters. Narrow rooms where people spent their time and earned a living during the Depression. The photographs themselves are special, but the story behind how the museum came to be in possession of these glass plates is also special. The collection came to the photo archives through a donor whose father had been a plumber. He had done work for a woman who lived in the Nob Hill area, but who did not have the money on hand to pay the plumber for his work. In lieu of payment, she offered a box of glass plate photographs that had been lying around her house collecting dust. He accepted the glass plates as payment, and years later, his son decided to donate them to the museum. Nothing is known as to how the woman in Nob Hill came to have these glass plates, and we have no certain information on the photographer, although there is a similar collection of photographs taken in Corpus Christi, Texas in 1934. Maybe it's the same photographer, maybe not. But the itinerant photographer's glimpse at the business world of downtown Albuquerque in 1930 and 1931 is incredible, and the museum is proud to have this traveling photographer's work in our collection. Thank you for joining us for Picture This with the Albuquerque Museum. Join us next time for the story behind another photograph in the museum's collection.